it's a Swedish speed box or something. The LEDs work. Sheesh. And the light bar works pretty good too. Alright, so now we got the car started, make sure it runs. Now we just gotta get the computer ready for the tuning software. And then I got my cable hidden in here. We're gonna go ahead and start getting it ready for a data log. If you're not arm deep in it. Exactly right so far is that the oil pressure sensor isn't reading for some reason. It's the aftermarket one I have. I know it worked on that silver one, so it should work. It turned on, got power, but it's not reading any pressure, so I just went ahead and unplugged it and replugged it back in, see if that helps. So all we gotta do is clean the front up right here. Got the tires back on, drop it down, and we'll go for a little test drive, make sure everything looks good. Data log, and we'll get that sent off and get it tuned. There we are. We'll go take her for her maiden voyage. I'll let you know if anything weird happens. This thing chopping. I think it's just running rich right now. There's with the underglow on. Not 100% sure what color I want to go with, but you know, if you pay attention really close, you can tell we're not moving. It won't go up the hill. Okay, it starts and then it runs good for a second and then it gets real choppy and it won't go. So I'm gonna try to go up this hill while I can. Nope, I guess we're not. We're going back down the hill. Alright, I'll get back with you or see if I can put it up somewhere. Back to the house. Okay, so can't go up the hills. Alright, we'll get back with you when we get to the house. I lied. So we're still tuning. I got about from down there to down here and now it won't start back up. So I think it's just running so rich, it's having a hard time, so I'm going to let it sit for a second and then try it again. See if we can make it back to the house and then send whatever this log is to the tuner and see what he thinks. Hey, but I mean, it looks cool while it's on the side of the road. I checked in here to see, and everything in here looks good. I think it's just running really rich. So, look at that sparkle. Shoo! Alright, we'll try to make it back to the house. Oh hey, the new light bar came in handy. I just rolled from way over there by that light all the way down here. I got to the start for a second, get over the bump, and then I'm in neutral. We're about 6 houses away from the house, so I just wait about 30 minutes, start it up, move a few feet. The mom to the rescue. Walked down the street, picked up the wild mom. Did a quick tow back to the house. I think I figured it out. So the O2 sensors basically aren't hooked up, so that's why I think it's just running super rich. So I think once we get those O2 figured out, then it should run better. Alright, getting the mom tow back to the house. I think once we get that fuel problem figured out, we should be alright. Going into the driveway is going to be the fun part. The rain washed it out and there's been a big old rut. Oh. Yanked me through it. Yanked me through it. Anyways, we're back home. Okay, we're back. It's morning now, so this is the first time I get to see it from this angle. She looks pretty decent. You can see that sparkle. So went to an exhaust shop. I got a O2 bung. So we're gonna try to either work on it out here, or we're gonna try to see if we can get it started long enough to get it into the garage, because it'd be nice to have it in there. Try to get this O2 bung welded on there and then see if that helps the ECU do the fuel trims. I did make a discovery. So while I was checking through a few things to check things, it reminded me of, it did do something similar like this whenever I didn't have the fuel pump plugged in. So I decided to check the fuel little Schrader valve right there, and it's got a lot of air in it. There's no fuel pressure. So check back here, and there's fuel in the fuel filter, so it's getting fuel down there. So the pump's turning on, but I'm thinking maybe it's getting locked up on air. So I'm gonna try a few things and try to bleed some of the air out. That maybe it was actually running lean and not rich. That's why it's got no gas in it. So we'll try that and see if I can get any progress on that. Just like that, car is in the garage. So I'm gonna go ahead and send off the little bit of a data log I got last night. I'm going to go ahead and try to get those O2 sensors plugged in and fixed up. And then I'll probably do the oil change while I was at it, because I meant to do that and forgot to do it. So we'll do the oil change, put those O2 sensors and get them plugged in, and then hopefully hear back from the tuner, because it is currently Wednesday at 10 o'clock and I have a car show that I paid to be for this weekend. So woohoo, time crunches. All right, listen, I know it looks bad. I'm trying to figure out how to get the well, I'm trying to think of fuel pressure issues and stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out. So this is my wideband controller, and I couldn't find a cable that would plug into it, but the oil pressure sensor isn't working for some reason. So I'm thinking what I could do is I could steal this connector from it with this wire here and steal that, plug it in and run that to the wideband, so that way I had the wideband running. So I'd rather have the O2 sensor and the wideband running than the oil pressure sensor that's not working currently. So that way we would know if it's a fuel issue or not. It'll actually work with that. Another one of those connectors later. Let's see if we can get that going. I did find the other O2 sensor. The front one was actually just hanging up there from the previous owner, and I was thinking that that was a problem, so I went ahead and pulled it down here, and you can actually see it hanging right there. I'm gonna weld an exhaust bung right there. I picked up this one from Car Care earlier today, so we're gonna go ahead and get that one plugged in, and then try to wire up the wideband so that way both O2 sensors are working. Then we're gonna try to do some troubleshooting. Bad thing is I've asked like 15-20 people what's going on, if they can help me, and only like 1 or 2 people are getting back with me. So it's just trying to figure this out on my own. Alright, I'm not gonna be able to show you very well, but I got arm deep into the exhaust there, and I actually found that the front O2 sensor actually is plugged in. You can kind of see back there. No, not really. Anyways, so front O2 actually is plugged in, so it's just the wideband that's not hooked up. So all we gotta do is plug in the wideband. So that's one thing figured out. I don't need to weld on another bung because we do have the front O2 plug. All I gotta do is wire up oil pressure sensor into the wideband and into the stock one, so that way the new ECU can read the secondary O2 sensor as a wideband. Alright, if I'm reading the wideband stuff right, then that means that the wideband not being hooked up could cause the ECU to feel incorrectly. It could be the reason why it's running bad. So we need to take the positive from this one, connect it to the black of this one, like that. And that's going to be connected to the O2, where the O2 sensor would plug into there. It's going to go into the stock ECU connector. And so I just need to run a line from that to this little pigtail, because I'm going to cut this pigtail up. Run the black right here to the positive on this one, and the negative black one to a ground chassis point. And then that should help out. So we're going to have to drill a hole like right there, so that way the line can pass through to get to that rear O2 sensor. Alright, I got my pass-through cable ready. So this end's going to connect to the O2 sensor, and this is a piece of hard plastic cable. Put it over that way so that way it doesn't chafe the cable. Alright, I got this part wired up, so that's the connector going to the wideband. We got this black wire. All I had was the black wire. So this black wire is the one going to the O2 sensor there, and this black wire, which is on the negative, is going right here to a ground point I just made. I stood up and I stepped back on that and knocked it over. Oh. Alright, so I got all that all hooked up down there. I put a bunch of heat shrink and I put some rubber tube over it so that way the heat won't get to it. Put that back up. So now what we gotta do, put all the carpet back in there, and that should be good. And it's 4:20 in the morning. But I guess I'm just gonna see if anybody says anything about the fuel problem, see if anybody can help me out. And hopefully the tuner gets back with me, see if he sees anything. The wideband should be hooked up now, just gotta clean it up. Just like that, we're back together. Okay, so I unplugged the battery. And let it sit for a few minutes, and now it seems to be I'm gonna see if maybe it'll learn a new fuel table maybe. Let's see, if I let it go, it does that, but if I give it a little gas, it hesitates for a second and then goes up. Alright, so we're back at it again. Cut out basically a full day's worth of troubleshooting. So, a couple list of different things. Tuner said that the MAF airflow sensor needed to have the sensor from the old one, so I swapped the sensor out. And then he had me check a couple things here, and the actual throttle position sensor wasn't plugged in. So, that was a whoopsie on my side. Got those fixed. The flashing on the arrow on the transmission light stopped going off, so now the car will start and it runs good, and then it runs out of fuel and dies because it seems like it's on low on fuel pressure. So got a fuel pressure tester, tested it here. I'll go ahead and attach a clip off to the side, like right over here, but it only went off to about 18 psi, not very much. We're looking for 43 psi. So the tuner said that he's had a problem with the all-wheel drive one before. So he's got a fix for it that should fix it. But he's going to be out of town next week, and the show is tomorrow. So the night show is tomorrow. So I got all day tomorrow to work on it, and all night tonight to work on it. But the actual show starts tomorrow night and this weekend. So I was like, ooh, can I just swap the stock fuel pump back in? And he said that I should be able to swap the stock fuel pump right back in, and it should work. The only bad side is that now we're gonna have to take all the wiring out that I did and made it all look nice and pretty. So we're gonna have to take all of our new fancy wiring out, retuck it down through there, and pull the fuel pump back out. Put the old one back in while we wait for the parts to come, because he said he can send the parts, but they're not going to get here until sometime at the end of this week. So it's not going to work for the show, so we're going to go ahead and try to get that going. And I guess we're just gonna go ahead and swap the old fuel pump back in and see what it does. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but it's only been 39 minutes, 40 minutes, and I already got the I got the old fuel pump back in. All I gotta do is run the wires up, and then we should be good to try it. All right, just like that. It's not prettied up yet. I just did this just to see. The only ones I'm not sure about is these white ones because they're unlabeled, but they're sensors, so if the fuel level doesn't read light, then I'll swap them. But should be everything hooked back up, so I guess we could go ahead and try it. Alright, so theoretically it should start. I heard the pump prime. Yeah, I can hear the fuel pump running. No fuel leaks. Okay, well, that's a lot more responsive throttle. Okay, throttle's responsive. It's auto normal. I think that might have fixed it. Yeah, it didn't die yet, so that's a good start. Usually it would have died by now. Woohoo! The fuel level, right? Oh yeah. Okay. Huh. Looks like I fixed it. So it was the fuel pump. Dang. Okay. We'll get that figured out then. Alright, here we are. It's day of show. Gonna go ahead, clean up that wiring right there so I don't have to worry about it hitting the axle or anything like that. Get the wheel back on. And then I'm not gonna put everything completely back in, but I'm gonna go ahead and at least put the seat covers back over. So that way if we need to access it later we can. And then we'll leave it open so that way we can get the fuel pump in there whenever we need to. I'm going to go ahead and return that fuel pump pressure tester. That'll be $180 back to me from O'Reilly's. And then I think we should be good to start cleaning up this destruction around the place. We're straight ripping through all this stuff for the last week and a half. But hey, it worked out. Here we are. It's currently 2 o'clock and the show starts at 7. And the pre-beat starts at 7 tonight, and then the actual show is tomorrow. So as long as this test drive goes good, I think we made it. Keep running. Woo! Alright, well, stopped to get gas, so we got a small problem. This is leaking. I think we just need to tighten that up a little bit, but just kind of wasted some gas. And now the car won't start. The battery's dead. So my buddy come gives the jump off, and then we're gonna go across the street to O'Reilly's, change in this pump testing kit, and then we'll go back to the house and swap out the black battery for the green battery. Should be good. We'll see over there's a spot for a battery. It's on. At least it looks full box. Got your scans, bag, clothes. Yeah. There we go. Made it to the meet. First night. It gets better. Not a ton of people here tonight. Tomorrow is the actual show. But we made it. Alright, we got out here. We're setting up for the show today. Looks like I'm one of the first ones here to get set up. The show starts at 9. It's like 6:40 right now, so you got a few cool cars here. Everybody getting ready. Something I did realize that was that where we had the fuel leak yesterday. Look what it did to the chair. The whole chair is like white on the back. And it's like white over there. There's like speckles and stuff where the fuel is spraying while I was driving down the road. So I think I might need some leather repair or something. Oops, something just fell. Here we are with the boost setup. I don't have any of the stickers on yet. I'm gonna wait until at least another 2 hours or so until everybody gets here. Kinda got here a little early for the little bit I have. But we're set up. Here we go. Made it to day 2. We got a little over 100 miles on the car now. Setting up the tables here. People are starting to roll in. Woohoo! Going good so far. Alright, just like that, we got the show is done. Everybody's already gone. We packed up for the night. But our day is not done. It's 2:30. We're gonna go home, cool off for about an hour and a half, and then we're gonna go to our night meet tonight. Try to make that bread to make up for all this money I just spent on the car. Didn't win anything at the show, but we still had fun. We'll see you guys at the meet. Just like that, we're packing up for the meet. It's about 10:30 at night, not too bad. Car's still running pretty good. We're head back to the house, and that should be it for this weekend. Thank you guys for watching the progress of getting this going. We got some more coming for you. Stay tuned. I'll have an exhaust video and a couple flyby pulls, stuff like that coming soon. Oh, and P.S. the light bar, it works pretty good. People are like, why do you got the light bar? It's because I'm taking my tent down in the middle of the night. Birch tent, light. It's usability.